that are challenging.
Good morning.
Like vulnerability.
How's everybody? I am heading out to handle a responsibility.
I'm just taking in this very different reality. But I'm not sitting around every day.
I sold an oven about a month and a half ago, and
Miguel is 49.
The client contacted me probably
artist. He's a musician.
A few weeks
who's
later,
played in a few bands and has a project called
and
Sad
told
Donna,
me that
where he
it
sings
wasn't
Madonna
working. Not the
songs
whole
but in
oven,
a
just
sad But Miguel is best known for his work as a choreographer
being
and dancer,
a newbie,
and
I
has
didn't know
received
that
some of the
there's two
field's
heating
highest
elements
honors.
in the oven.
And like many people
One
working in
is,
creative industries, he's
your
lost a lot of work and income this year.
broiler, and the
A
other
report from the
one
Brookings
is,
Institution
I
found
guess,
that fine arts and the
your
performing
baking
arts have
element,
been
right?
particularly
Make sure
hard
that
hit. Overall,
we're
2.3 million jobs and $74 billion in average monthly earnings were lost in the creative fields between April and July of this year. And while Miguel was less concerned about not being on stage during the pandemic, he was concerned about how he'd get paid.
Being responsible.
First thing I noticed was all the camp.
I got to go pick up a heating element, which I ordered. I actually drove up to the appliance shop, ordered the part on Friday,
finding us.
And yesterday they told me it was in. So I'm heading out to get it.
First
and I'm running back to the client to
Wait, so those were emails from like
By the
dance
way,
festivals
I am
and
not an
venues,
appliance guy.
What were those
However,
emails?
I did fix a water.
It was a variety of
the water
kinds
component
of work, and what I do,
of a refrigerator recently,
and kind of across the board.
I felt like a giant.
Emails were coming in,
and also,
and all with the exception of one,
I did
made no mention.
I fixed something else, but I had
what did
help.
they say
I fixed
if they didn't mention money?
So
they were like, as you can understand,
on a dryer,
change.
There's a belt that spins that sucker.
To do the festival,
so
yada.
Fixed the belt.
We're so sorry
on the dryer with help.
We look forward to talking to you again soon.
So I'm feeling a little bit,
it was this very
happy about
formulaic
doing appliances, and you're gonna run into a whole lot of people.
Some of these institutions were
that service,
people I'd been talking to,
and that can follow you for the rest of your life. So I'm doubling down on learning the learning curves as it relates to
respond and say, "Can we talk about the money?"
Yes,
fixing
first a kind of strongly worded email, and then I wrote this Instagram,
because I know I have a fellowship on here. Often come on my live.
In front of me, this particular post. It's in all caps. Short-term work is my work. My
off. I'm gonna check my privacies. And then also,
hashtag honor commitments, hashtag not disposable, hashtag I'm in your budget.
Make sure that that you can't hear this podcast while I'm speaking. I guess we're good. So, I turned the heat on this morning because it's kind of nippy out. I want to say this, right? You never know what your capabilities are, your potential is, until you take the dive, until you make a move on it. Just never know what your potentials are. Who knew that I could produce TV shows? Who knew when I was 19 years old, I produced my first concert, and my first concert was a doozy. It was not something in a small nightclub or in a recreation hall or a rental. What is it called? A facility rental. When you rent a party space. It was none of that. It was a concert. It was a stadium. I did a stadium at age 19 and filled half the stadium. When I say filled half the stadium, that's all we had was half the stadium to use. They wouldn't allow us to use the whole stadium. At least it wasn't set up that way. But I'm here to tell you that your boy held a major concert, and it was a major concert. It was not small peanuts. I'm talking about, feel me on this lineup. It was huge today. It was huge. The names were huge today. These names would draw thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. Today, I had a headliner was Run DMC. The other acts included Force MDs, the Fat Boys, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And guess who opened my concert? Dougie Fresh, right? And so I say all of that to say, you know, I was not expecting that I was going to be this huge concert producer. I wasn't. But arguably I was the youngest concert producer of my time, 19 years old, doing big stuff like that. And that was huge. It was huge. It was huge to be producing a concert, to be handling security, to hire this and hire that and make sure everything was Gucci. And I did that at 19 years old. But I had never produced a concert in my life. I had not even so much as researched the work that was necessary to make a safe concert. The hell was I thinking? So, you never know what your potential are. And I can go line item after line item after line item how I took the dive on something that I didn't know how to do. Same thing with TV production. I had no clue how to do TV production, but I took the dive and I learned how to do TV production. As a result, I produced hundreds of television shows, and with the most major artists that you know today, if you watch them today, they would again be the global phenomenons that I saw them when I brought them on the show. So I'm not going to go into names. My history is out there, and I will fine tune and create a timeline in the future. Create a timeline of who I worked with and all of my accomplishments. That's not something that's for now. I just want to tell you guys, you never know what your potential is until you actually take the dive. All right, that's my spiel this morning. Now, where I'm heading right now is to get this appliance part. So we got to stay focused on the road, and I got to pull up my GPS. So I take exit 237. Okay, 238, 238A, 238B. I see you. 238, 237. Did I pass 237? That's a question. Maybe not. No, not yet. So, anyway, I really, really hope to inspire somebody. When I do these lives, or when I do any kind of video these days, the way I stay focused and not caught up in my ego or caught up in any kind of hype is in my mind, I pretend or I confirm that I'm speaking to my kids. Okay? So I have 4 kids, and I love them. 237. No matter come what may, I love them. And it's important for me to show them the way. Virtually, in person, to whatever degree. Because I didn't have my dad reaching out to me when I was younger. 237, take exit 237 onto 331. That's the next stop. It's the next stop, okay. I didn't have my dad to reach out to me when I was younger, put a hand on my shoulder and say, you know, son, this is the way it's done. And he probably didn't have the information. Or not that he didn't have the intent. I'm sure he had the intent, but he didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge or the motivation to really do such. So I'm not blaming him by any means. You know, we only know what the fuck we know. It's that simple. But thank God I was able to live through whatever it is to progress and get to this point where I could be inspiring to other people, where I could be progressive in my own life. And you guys, you 4 beautiful kids, you guys are doing good in your lives, man. You're doing good in your lives because of the sacrifices your dad took. It's just the truth. And so again, when I try to talk to the kids because it keeps me grounded. My kids keeps me grounded, and I want to be informative. I want to be resourceful. I want to be of value while I'm here and after I'm gone. And so my point this morning is that you can achieve. You just never know what your potential is until you actually take the dive. And what you want to do is to take calculated risks. Take 237. I'm here. Hold on. I need to check my GPS. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Just checking my GPS. And so, time after time, I've taken calculated risks, whether it was to get into TV, whether it was to produce the concert that I told you about, my first concert, whether it was to, take commercial space. You got to take risks sometimes. You got to take calculated risks. Can you afford it? Does it make sense? Is it going to kill your pockets? Are you going to let go of all your responsibilities? You can't take a dive and roll all the dice. You throw all of the money on the table. You can't. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Unless for sure, absolute, there's going to be an upturn. You're going to double your money, triple your money. But I would never suggest to anybody to take the risks that I've taken. I've taken risks, I've taken losses, and I've learned. I've learned hard, and hopefully by my lessons, I will save somebody some money or save somebody some hardship moving forward. And by the way, the risks that I took or the dives that I took are not just in entertainment. They're not just in, like I said, television production or concert promotion or anything like that. I've taken some huge dives, guys. Some huge dives. I've taken some huge risks. My life was at stake. My life is always at stake, especially when I'm driving. You're out here in these streets, and you're never sure what that next person is capable of. If they're drinking, if they don't know how to drive. Jesus, some kids stole a bus recently. I saw that on YouTube. Or online. So kids, can you imagine them crashing a bus into you and all you're doing is minding your business and driving and observing the road, of the rules of the road? So anyway, long story short, I love you guys. It's Wednesday. I pray that you stay safe. That, speaking of which, my mask. My dude, my mask. That you stay safe and that you love and be loved in return. I say all of that to say I'm speaking to myself as well, to do everything with love today. Jesus, Lord, have mercy, please. For the sake of God, please hold me to my desire to do everything with love, to speak and be kind to everybody I run into, no matter what. Lord, please hold me to that rule and make it so, no matter who I run into, that this is the thing, that man is a great man. So the way you do it is you do it with love. I'm going to do it with love today. No matter who approaches me, with no matter what ignorance is or complications or miscommunication, I am going to move forward with love. I was not taught that. Nobody encouraged that in my life. I didn't have teachers that or mentors that grab me and say, this is the way you do it. This is the way you do it. No, I did not have that. And so I have to pick myself up by my own bootstraps. And I have to go hard. And I have to be kind to all whom I meet. And do everything with love. That whole give and take, that whole Live and let live. Gotta do that. Because it's in my heart to do so. It's in my heart to be that. No matter what wrong people have done to me. Now that's tough. Because there's people that have literally done huge assaults on my life. And so it's hard. I share that with a grain of salt. But yesterday, I hadn't talked to my father, guys, in about 7 years at least. And it was stupid. It's because he hung the phone up on me. The nerve. And so this was when he was 83. And you know what? I can't fault him. I'm thinking now that you can't fault these folks because they're set in their ways and they've lived a certain life and they've had, assaults themselves. So people probably, he's probably jaded in a lot of ways. I remember we were talking about his baseball career and all the people that giving him accolades and how he was heading to the Brooklyn Dodgers and all these the letters. I saw letters from Jimmy Stewart and Jackie Robinson. Jimmy Stewart was the Tom Cruise of the day. Here he is writing a letter to my dad because he had a tragic accident where life took his leg from him. And he went through life without a leg and he got a prosthesis. And with that prosthesis, he developed a chain of stores and eventually had even a liquor store and then a bar. And then the bar became a huge strip club. He was a man before his time. Strip clubs are like the thing now. People are stripping on Instagram. But he was doing it early. He's a first mover. And as such, I've been a first mover all my life. I've learned to be a first mover, probably because of my dad. So I'm saying all of that to say what? The calculated risks, taking the deep dive in life, all of that is who I am. It's in my DNA, and I do it over and over again. And when I do that, sometimes it might seem like I have a certain audacity. People think it's maybe conceited or cocky, and then other people look at it and say, "Wow, you got that drive." But in doing all of that, it's important to move forward with love. Everything with love and in love. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Try to do everything with love, but also remember to take the calculated risks in life because you never know what your potential is. You just never know. You might produce a TV show. You might be a best-selling novelist. You might become a best-selling novelist. You might end up owning a few bed and breakfasts. You might end up having a fleet of vehicles. You might, who knows, you might get to know a few celebrities. You might have some movies that come from your books. You might even be featured on ABC World News or in Time Magazine or in Ebony Magazine or on NPR Radio or in the Daily News or in the New York Times. That just might happen if you take my advice. Although, disclaimer, that's not to say that it will happen. You never know. But God bless you. Do everything with love. Peace. God bless you. Take care.